Hello there. If you clicked on this video, you want to improve your fly cast. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips that are going to be a big change for you. Because 40 years ago when I started fly fishing, I was self-taught. My dad showed me the ropes, but I had to figure out everything on my own, and I made a lot of these mistakes early on. So after you watch these few tips, I think they could make a big difference for you as well. So if you're super new to fly casting, the first thing I want you to do, and this is critical, is to get enough floating line out from the tip of your rod. So many new fly casters want to start casting when it's just the tippet, the tapered leader, right? That's not going to be able to generate line speed. It's just going to create a lot of frustration. So get a full length of fly line out, floating line out from the tip of your rod before you even consider starting to make the cast. Now pull out, maybe let's go with maybe 10 or 15 feet of line, because you don't need to cast it out there a country mile when you first start fishing. This is normal. I just got a bunch of gunk on my fly because I'm teaching. All right, so you got your full length of floating line out the front of the tip of your fly rod. You've got a bunch of line pulled out. Now, the next thing, right, and this is critical, the reason why when you cast, you just kind of spaghettis out in front of you, is because you're not letting the line fully extend out behind you before bringing the rod forward. So you want all that line to fully go out behind you before bringing it forward, all the way behind you. And it's okay in the beginning, go watch it back. Watch it go all the way back and then throw it forward. You're gonna see a huge difference in the quality of your cast if you just wait a half a second longer. Right when your brain tells you go forward, wait a half a second longer, and you're gonna find a huge difference. Immediately, your line will just glide out the front of your fly rod. The other critical thing is to make a hard stop on both sides of the cast. What I mean by that is when you go back, and now you're gonna let it extend all the way back, but you'll notice I do a hard stop, and then a hard stop, and then a hard stop. And what that does is your fly rod is bending when you bring it back. When you do a hard stop, all that energy that's built into the bent fly rod straightens up and throws your line out, right? You're creating this nice loop. So wait for it and do a hard stop on both sides. The other big mistake that I did, I thought fly fishing meant I had to do a lot of this. I had to just false cast constantly. This has got to be the right way to do it. Nope, it's not, right? I learned the hard way, and my dad was like, son, you don't need to false cast that much, because literally you hit the spot that you were trying to cast 3 different times before you finally just let it go. So don't false cast a ton. Really, the only reason to false cast is to dry your dry fly, or if you need to gain a little accuracy, or when you really start to get comfortable with fly casting and you need to bomb it out there 60, 70 feet, you're gonna need to false cast once or twice to be able to reach those lengths. So don't false cast. That just messes things up. You end up beating the water up in front of you, and the fish are gone because your fly keeps bouncing off the water in front of you. So don't false cast. So another thing that I see new fly casters do, did it myself, right? I did this myself, is my non-casting hand, right? You see a lot of people, when they first start out, they're kind of following it like this. You want both hands to work independently, but together. So you're always having contact with the fly line because you want to have direct connection to the fish. So my non-casting hand is loosely holding the fly line, and you'll notice that it's away. I'm not bringing it back with the rod. It's kind of doing its own thing. And there's something called hauling, which you'll learn later in other videos. Not necessary to learn it right now, but you're tending your fly line with your non-casting hand. You know, it's not following it, right? It's just waiting and tending the line. You're letting it flow through your fingers as you finish the cast. So you see all this line down here? Watch how effortless, right? It's just be patient. Take your time. It's not about power. It's about finesse. And if you do these fundamentals, that line will just shoot right out. Watch how effortless it is. And it will be the same for you. It's just about technique. And just like that, all that line is out with just one false cast. Let's try that again. Notice what my hand's doing, right? And I'm throwing a big streamer too, so it's kind of bouncing around a bit. Super heavy fly. Okay, watch this. Ready? Yeah. Never once did the fly line leave my hand, but it was loosely around it, so I'm always keeping control. So if you put all those fundamentals together, your experience out in the water with a fly rod is going to be so much better. And I promise you, you'll put that spinning rod down, because fly fishing really is something super cool. That close connection, that connection that you have with the fish is like nothing you can get with a spinning rod. It is just a different experience on a fly rod. All right, well, I hope this helps you get out there and use the fly rod more often. All right, everybody. And if you need a little more help with your fly fishing cast, here's a video that really goes in depth with some other things that might help you with that cast. All right, everybody, till the next time, fish on.